Hello everyone, my name's Bottletophornet and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. We're starting this episode off with a time lapse because I want to work on those storage silos again, but we actually need something to fill them with. So this episode's starting off with a time lapse of about 3.5 hours of resource gathering. I tried to get as much dirt as I could in preparation for doing some terraforming on the Isle of Ender, gathering a little bit of sand as well, as much as I could. So in a second, we're going to pop back in after this time lapse. I'm going to grab the resources that I have after taking out this sand, and then we're going to fly back and continue our work on the storage silo area and see if we can come up with a way to get all the resources into the storage silos and sorted, as well as maybe decorate it and come up with a little design for a cool little input system. So with that, let's pop back over. And I know this isn't exactly how I usually start the episodes, but I figured that I wanted to show you guys that I had been doing some work. And this is sort of the area about 1,500 blocks away from my base that I've been gathering most of my resources, especially the sand for making TNT. And so I decided that this will probably end up being my main resource gathering area, I suppose you'd call it. I might even bring a beacon back here and get rid of some of the stone if I need more stone to fill the storage silos. So we have a handful of shulker boxes filled with sand now. There we go. Okay. Didn't quite fill them all because because I was getting close to running out of durability on the shovel, and I didn't actually have any spare shovels, so I will have to make another one. Now, something that I do have to mention is at the end of the last episode when I was gathering all of that ice, I broke nanoscale precision. I broke a pickaxe and I felt really bad about it. It was one that I named after Nano, a long-time commenter, but we might have to make another one up. I'm going to have to go gather some more netherite soon anyway, but that's okay. I just figured I'd let you guys know. We're going to gather up these shulker boxes so that we have all of that sand and fly on back to the base. So once we get back to the base, we can continue to work on the warehouse area. I have an interesting idea that I'm really interested in to show you guys. So let's pop back over there and we'll get to work. Okay, so I've grabbed all the resources that I gathered, and it doesn't look like much really when it's all sitting here in a line. But this is about 20 boxes of, or shulker boxes worth of dirt that was not meant to be placed there. I have one spare shulker box left over, but my idea for this episode is setting up the way to transfer, I need to do some work, setting up the way to transfer the items over into the storage silos themselves. This is currently filled with all of the stone that I had gathered up to this point during the Let's Play. So that was something like nearly 30 shulker boxes is now this much stone. And that means that we have just over 2 storage silos left and a little bit to fill with stone. So that was the whole idea, is to gain a little bit more storage and also make something cool. So I want to make these 4 the stone, and then probably these 2 as the dirt. Maybe that one is sand and that one is sandstone. But the thing is, I don't want to just put the shulker boxes in the middle here and have to work out how to get them into the silos. What I want to do up here is bring in a barge. I can't remember whether I talked about it last episode, but I want to bring a barge into this area. And at the end of the barge, I want to have an unloading station where I put a shulker box in and it slowly kicks all of the items out and sends them along the roof, somewhere in between the dirt and the top of that. Excuse me, can you spawn on top of shulker boxes? Anyway, in between the dirt and the top of the warehouse there, I want to send it through on a water stream a bit like this and put it into the storage silos. So that made me think that this barge that we put in here will end up holding the bulk of the full shulker boxes that are yet to be sorted. And then, just as I was coming back a moment ago, I realized that as I was putting these in the middle, I would like to actually make up most of the shulker shells that I have available, which is a decent supply, and I think I have a couple of extra ones somewhere. But I think I would like to make some shelves or a big pile in the center where the main section of this warehouse is used for storing all of my shulker boxes, just empty ones, so that as I come over here, say, and I want to grab a shulker box full of stone, I grab the shulker box, come over to the big pile, grab one, and put it there, and we always have a bunch of empty ones available. So this now becomes more of a real storage area. It has the storage silos, it has the barge with the full materials that are coming in to be used for the terraforming project, an unloading station somewhere around here that's unloading the items constantly into the storage silos, and then a huge section that is filled with empty shulker boxes ready to be used. So with all that being said, I know that I started this episode off with a time lapse, but it was a bit of a different one because I just wanted to show it off. I think we're going to pop into our first proper time lapse for the episode with a little bit of music because I want to get most of this area built up, and once it's built up, then we can get into the nitty-gritty of coming up with a design for the actual system to get the items across the top of there and into the storage silos. So I hope you enjoy the time lapse, and I'll be back with you in a minute to continue working on the mechanics of it. See you soon. And welcome back, folks. The Isle of Ender is living up to its name. There are Endermen everywhere. While I was building this, they just kept walking around. I think there's another one, yep, here. There was another one up here as well somewhere. Not sure. But we have ourselves a little barge area, a continuation of the warehouse. And I didn't go too fancy, but I think it's not too bad. If anything, I might have gone a little overboard with this. I'll probably change that up. But that's actually directly at the bottom of my sugarcane farm. So if I can get up there, I should be able to open one of these. Those pieces of stone are actually what the hopper minecarts are riding on. So above that is directly where the sugarcane farm goes. So we've been squeezing it in for space. I made a little window here so that we have a few more sight lines going through, a little bit more of a reference to stuff in here. Made a little access point out the side. Oh, hello. But as you can see, there's just, as you're coming across here, you can tell that there is stuff inside the island there as well as the entrance over here. I've put all of the resources that I gathered that were in the middle of the warehouse over there are now sitting here. So basically, that one's not quite full, but most of these are completely full. And these are the resources that I want to eventually get over into the storage silos. So what I need to do now, probably here, and it doesn't have to be too fancy, but I want to make a shulker box unloader. So I think what we need to do is probably get our redstone box, grab that. What else would we need? I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll work it out as we go. But this shouldn't be too complicated. Essentially, the only thing that I want it to do is pretty much go like this. I want a dropper facing upwards. Actually, no, it's going to have to face sideways like this. If we have a piece of soul sand just here, and then a water column going up into the roof, then a hopper going into the side of this, and basically we place our shulker box on top of there, it feeds itself into the hopper, and all we have to do is probably underneath there create a system where redstone ticks, fires this while it's got things in it, and we fire it up into the roof and carry our water line across. So I'll just make a little bit of space here so that I have some room to work with. And if we can set it up first with the redstone required, oh, surely there's some stone. Come on, I need some stone. I'm getting distracted. If I can set up the redstone first so that that is working and we test it out, then I'll put the water in as a last resort, because I don't want to accidentally flood my redstone and ruin my progress. So I'll make sure that I have some stone. I'll grab some kelp. I'll grab some soul sand, some glass, and a couple water buckets. So that should be all I need. Cool. All right, let's just expand this a little bit more so that I have the room that I need. Okay. So, with that being essentially the middle, now what I want to do is have a comparator reading the contents of this dropper here, so that when there is something in it, we have a power output. Okay. Then if we place a block here, place something in there so that we have power, this is where I'm going to start experimenting, because I don't really know how to use redstone that well. I want to know, oh, it does. But does it power it from the block or does it power it from this block? Okay, good to know. So if we pull up our F3 menu, on the right-hand side, you can see that there is targeted block and it says power 0. I'll put a little arrow while I'm editing it up. But if we place a block above that, now we can see that it has power 1. So the dropper powering this comparator by having items in there is going to power this block, which transfers it down to this. Perfect. So now I can get a repeater and that'll get this power and repeat it up to level 15. I can then come down here. I'm working this out as I go. No, I can't come down there. Okay. A repeater here. Okay, that does get powered by this block. Perfect. So I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm going to sort of work this out like audibly as I go. So my thought process is we have the shulker box on here. As long as a single item is in this dropper, it's going to send a signal through the comparator, which powers this block, which powers that piece of redstone, which I assume powers this block, and the repeater is picking up that signal, and now we have a full strength signal coming out. Now, what I want to do is get some observers like so. Now, there's obviously, people are going to know much better ways to go about this. There's no doubt about it. This is my attempts at getting it to fire off at a decent speed, probably faster than it needs to be perfectly honest. But if I add a delay onto that, that means that even if there's one item in there, it's going to come across here, have a little bit of time being on. So now that's firing out items constantly. Fantastic. We want to make it so that's only happening while there's an item in the dropper itself. Okay. We're getting there. If I place this so that it's facing upwards into that, now that is unpowered. When I place, we'll put a couple more items in there than that. That's going to shoot them out. And as soon as that stops, it pulls it back. Fantastic. For me, that seems perfect. When items are getting put into that dropper, it's going to push this across and constantly be firing them out. Now, the question will be whether that's enough delay to maintain that going in and not have it popping in and out flat out. The only other thing that I can think of that I might be able to do is also put a repeater here and a delay on that as well. Now, it gives it a little bit of time to start building up items before it fires that across. How quick is the delay after it finishes items? So let's put that in here again. Wait until that reaches 0 and then see how quickly that pulls back. Okay, so it lasts a little bit longer. Perfect. Some people are probably going to look at this and just hate every second of it, but hopefully most of you understand what I'm going for and understand that I am not a redstone expert. This is the best I can do with my current knowledge of redstone, but I think it should work for my needs. So now I will cover that up, something like that. Oh man, I'm just realizing how absolutely terrible this commentary is, but it will have to do. Put a block there and there. We have the whole thing filled in. Now we want our one piece of soul sand just there, and I should be able to place glass up the walls through the roof here, like so, and on top of that, and that is a fully contained section where no water will get to. Essentially, that should be our unloading system. So I will do something like that just to bring that across. Now let's see if we can pop up top. We probably need a way to access the top section as well. So I'll pop through a little area, see if I can get the water set up in there. And once we're on top and I have everything in position, we'll continue on trying to get it over to the storage silos. Oh boy, sorry for anyone who had to endure that. I'll try and edit it up so it's as quick as possible because my goodness, I was just feeling it out as I went. On to the next bit. Sometimes the simplest solution is usually the best. It might not look incredible right now, but at least temporarily, this is the easiest solution for me to get up here. See, the thing is though, now that we're up here, I've realized how tight I'm going to be squeezing this all together. I'm going to try and get it to go over the top of all of our other item streams here, using this glass as a sort of spacer between them, and then we can head it out over top of our little area here. Now, originally, oops, oh, how do I get out of here now? Like this. Originally, I was thinking of making it up the other side, but since I came up with this barge idea, it doesn't necessarily have to be up there. So where before I thought that I was going to pass the items from this side going that way, instead now it's probably easier to... Ooh, I need to light that area up in there. There's a single slot, apparently. Okay, well, now it doesn't matter. But as I was saying, it's probably easier to bring it straight across the top of this. So, yeah, we should be able to get it across there into this area. It comes across, hits here, and gets sent this direction. And then we can do our thing, set up our item sorters if we can make room for it. And I think what I'm going to have to do for the outside, I don't know whether you guys noticed in the time lapse. God, this is not an easy place to get across. We need a bridge. Perfect. I don't know whether you noticed in the time lapse, but there's a little bit of exposed section of my storage silos that's just sitting there out the side of the wall here. Yeah, you can see bits and pieces of it. So I think what I might do is actually make a bit of another wall out here, as though there's a bit of a building, more like an actual wall that is visible rather than the terraformed cliff face. And then that way we know that there is a structure behind here and it's not something to dig into. So that'll happen in a moment. First of all, we're going to try and get in the base. But we're going to try and get some water up there and get it carried across. Thankfully, at the end of last episode, I did go and grab a bunch of that ice. So in our ice box here, we have a heap of ice available. I should grab a spare ender chest and chuck it over where we're working. But with this ice available, we should be able to easily get all of the items traveling along, no worries. And as you can see, I got a heap of blue ice and a bunch of packed ice as well. So we've got plenty for making this. We're going to bring this up like so and see whether we can get a decent little system worked out. So if the items come up to there, then we have the water flow across one and start heading in this direction. Let's see if that works before we do anything else. I've run out of glass. Okay. Need more items. Glass is acquired. Hop back up here. Squeeze across. We're just tall enough to get through there. It's hilarious to me how closely I'm getting everything to fit, but at the same time, I absolutely love that. I love that I'm managing to squeeze so much into this space. Like, you can see my sugarcane farm here is literally working on top of the block that is then the trapdoors of the top of this barge section. So everything is just squeezed together so tightly. That's a better view of it there. So that block there is literally the very, very bottom of my sugarcane farm. And down there is my barge area. Feels good. I've got everything working perfectly so far. What I'll do for starters, if I place the water there. Oh no. Oh God. I hope that didn't break any of the redstone down below. Let's quickly do that. Okay. I don't think it broke any of the redstone. Okay. Phew. So let's actually fill that spot in. I have some trapdoors on me, which is good for getting across. Place another one there so that if we ever need to get across, we can just do that. Wonderful. It's all looking perfect. Now, I think I'm going to have to jump into the back section of that water, remove the sand here so that I can make them all water sources. Now, how I do that, I don't know. I have an idea. Yes. Here we go. Okay. Float across here. And then I'm a genius. Water sources up to there. Perfect. Oh, I think I just ruined the redstone in there. No. I'm a genius. Okay. We can fix that. Up we go. Perfect. Flow out here and go see what the damage is. There it is. There was definitely something when. Okay, cool. At least we can fix it. We had a repeater there and there, both to maximum settings, and a piece of redstone. Now we're good. Wonderful. Okay, now I know that I'm really wasting time. So let's quickly montage this little section of getting all the water across and some ice set up. Under the bridge, get some ice. Blue ice goes where the water stream runs out. Top half slab to stop the water from flowing in between. Back under our bridge. Get more water. Place water there. Oh, panic! No! Wasn't quite long enough. Ah, dear. Fix broken redstone. Top slab there to cut off the water. Make sure that we have at least 8 blocks out this direction so that we don't flood more redstone. We're really close to everything. Place water in the corner. Sigh of relief that you made it just long enough. Check to see how much room we have here. Panic stations. Oh, let's just cover up that hole. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I wonder if I am any good at this game at all. Alright, this. Wonderful. Block that off so that we don't lose any items out the side. Add another piece of blue ice here. Another half slab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wonderful. Need more water. Fantastic. Damn. Trapdoor trick. Place water. Wonderful. And now, with a bit of luck, all we have to do is continue this around the corner, place a piece of blue ice just there, the half slab again. And now, if we put a piece of water there, it's going to start that process along here. Cool. That... Are you kidding me? How did you even spawn up there? There's so much light. Now we have essentially our items coming across into this area. I can do the same trick where I set up a half slab on the top and a piece of ice in the middle of each of these, so they're going to move across this this whole section really, really fast. I'm full of arrows. I'm going to quickly head over. I'm going to edit up what I have there just to make sure it's not ridiculous. And then I'll try and get myself set up with the item sorters on each one of these storage silos. If that all works, I will come back and we will put a shulker box on top of our shulker unloader and we'll see whether it works. So give me a moment. I'll be right back with you. Hopefully with a working system here. Oh boy. Okay, folks, welcome back in. We had a few mishaps with some creepers, but other than that, I think I've got most of the stuff set up. I actually had to reduce the height of my storage silos by 1 to fit everything in there the way that I had the current setup for my water stream. It didn't quite work and I needed a little bit of extra space. So what I need to do now is grab a few things. We're just going to pop up top. Well, for starters, out here, we can see... How did you get up there? How on earth? Get off, get off, get off. You won't. Well, other than him, here you can see we have a bunch of item filters set up. I needed to remove that top chest because of the way... Well, this only just fit in here, and I needed the space for the block to have a redstone torch on it, but we've got all of those item filters pretty much set up. All I have to do is go through and add the items themselves that I want to be filtered. So I figured I'd pop back in with you guys. Just going to use iron nuggets because I'm not going to put that through the system. But I wanted to pop back in with you guys and add the items that I want to filter as I go. So that should go down to 41. And then with a bit of luck, yep, it stops. We have that locked off and there's obviously not that much room left in there. So that's fine. We're going to set up these first 4 filters with the stone. Don't quite have enough to fill them all with 41, so we're just going to fill them up with a little bit like so. I'll get that one up to, oh, I might actually have enough. Not quite, but that's the first 4 filters. Now all we need to do is just popping these open so that I can put the water in once I'm ready. Now I want 2 for dirt, so that one there, this one here, and then to finish it up, do 1 for sand, like so. And if I could just reach that without falling off the edge, perfect. Last one for sandstone. And now we have all 8 silos set up. So what I want to do is, if I can get across there, is set up the water streams like so. That way we know we have the water streams fixed and ready to go. I'll block off these holes so that they're completely fine. And I suppose I should just make sure that I do have this far enough out that I'm not going to have problems with water flowing everywhere. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll deal with this in a little bit. For now, I might just, yep, I'll just let the items flow over there if they're going to go past the system. That should flow to the end there. Perfect. Okay. With all that, I think we're ready to try out the system. So if I pop over here and make my way across this maze, I have so many little bits and pieces everywhere to try and get under everything. You can see the trapdoors are spread out through all sorts of different places. But this allows me to get through like this. And I think the way that I'm going to test it is actually grab a shulker box. Oh, I should sleep because I've been having problems with mobs. And that's the last thing I want, is another creeper to blow up my hard work. Now, I feel like what's going to be a problem is how fast that machine pumps out the items, because these filters can only work at the speed of 1 hopper, and I'm pretty sure that will pump it out faster than a hopper can. So what I'm going to have to do is actually create another water stream, or a continuation of the water stream that loops back around so that any items that pass over top continue to go around until they are sorted. But what I want to do is just grab a shulker box. Now, I think there was one at the back. Yeah, this one. It's pretty much empty. I say pretty much empty. It wasn't close to empty at all. But I want to grab a handful of items from different shulker boxes, like some sandstone, some dirt, like this. And do I have any stone? Well, actually, I know exactly where some stone is. We can pop these onto the pile as well to get filtered at some point. But just like this, we have stone, dirt, sandstone, and sand, which is the 4 different things that we're sorting into this system. So with a bit of luck, once I put this shulker box onto that spot there, it's going to start firing out the items, and we're going to see a handful of these potentially light up. Or at least at the top, you'll get to see that there is items going through. So let's try it. Cross your fingers. There we go. Items start to flow. Okay, so there's the way that delay works. It obviously has to go in little bursts, but that might actually work okay for our system. The question is, will we start seeing items coming over into here? Sand, yes, perfect. Sand is starting to filter into our sandbox. Wonderful. We should be able to see what comes next, actually. I think sandstone after all the sand is filtered through. So we might actually take a couple of those out, and we'll just see whether in a moment the sandstone starts to filter over into here as well. We can see bits and pieces getting thrown out there. That looks like it's maybe sandstone. So with a bit of luck, there we go. Yes, this is good. My system works. This is fun for me because it's something that I've never really tried to do. Set up a little bit more of a technical base. Now, I never intended to have this base turn into that, but I like the idea that as the Isle of Ender expands, the technology needs to expand with it. So we should see stuff flowing in there. it's not fast. It's going to take a long time to filter out and sort through these items. And that's okay. I don't want this to be like the most efficient. I want it to be more like something that would actually be built by the people who house this Isle of Ender base. So it's something that over time, in real life, this would be a lot of resources that would come in slowly, and it would be weeks or months between barge deposits of these items. So obviously it's going to translate to plenty of time for this system to be sorting through, and people will come in, maybe do a couple of shulker boxes a day and just slowly work through. Workers would be in here organizing shulker boxes, taking the empty ones, bringing them down into this station here. So if that's all working, all I need to do to make sure this is... Oh, I fell. All I need to do to make sure this is nice and finished up is block in this backside, clean up the look of this because it is just not really anything other than functionality. So put a thing over the back of here. We can see the items coming through, getting filtered. Cool. That's amazing. It seems to be that the delay that happens on that machine actually comes out at the perfect speed. So this hopper system is getting rid of items just quick enough. Okay, so I have somehow accidentally created the exact tick speed of a hopper with my system over there. Okay, stone coming through, getting picked up by the first filter. A couple went past maybe, or that could have been lag. Yeah, it looks like they're all getting picked up by the first hopper, which means that this one will fill up first and then our next one will. It's a bit weird because the way that we did fill up those first two, but that's okay. We're going to have items slowly ticking across. Looks like every now and again one might go a little bit too far, but I can't tell whether that's lag or not. Oh, this is so great. I'm so excited that this worked. It was a lot of effort and it's something a little out of my comfort zone, but man, it's so cool to see these items working like this and flowing across into these filters, into my storage silos. So I think what I'm going to quickly do is do one of those 10-second time lapses just to tidy up this outside edge, make it look a little bit nicer so that it's not just a bunch of chests. And also, I might see if I can get started on the storage system in the middle here for the empty shulker boxes, make up some shelving, and then, yeah, we have a fully functioning system. Oh, don't need that in there. A couple of things have dropped through, but that's okay. We have items being filtered in. Look at that. Let's come across here and see... It's actually decently fast. Now, the thing is, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Why does this keep happening? Luckily, it didn't blow up this system. The thing is, when we break this shulker box, there's a good chance that it is going to drop into there. But that actually works perfectly because if we finish that line of water across there and bring it back down to a chest here that has our empty shulker boxes, then I can come over, grab the empty shulker boxes and put them straight into the shelving that I place here. Oh, this is so good. I'm sorry for getting so excited, but oh, wow, this is just, it's so nice to have a thought in your head and an idea, and then it comes out so much better than you expect. This whole thing is such a nice tied together warehouse system. Our items come in on the barge, get placed on our system over here. They transfer themselves across and are stored in a storage silo, ready to be used at any point. And then in the middle, we will have storage for empty shulker boxes and a place over here that collects the empty ones from the system. I don't know why it's so exciting to me, but I hope you guys enjoy that as well and think this is as cool as I do. So let's quickly pop into that 10-second time lapse. We'll get that stuff sorted. I know this episode is potentially going for a decent length, so I don't want to waste any more time. I've really felt my way through this system and tried to keep you guys along for the ride. But let's do that, tidy up the last few things, and then we can get on to the end of the episode. Oh, yes, this is so cool. Okay, all I need to do is tidy up this little entryway. I'm going to transfer things down one and remove the top chest. and just clean up that little transition point between the two. And then we have our warehouse, our bulk storage warehouse. I have a little access panel at the back there that lets me get up to this area nice and quickly, as well as other places in the back. We have our overflow chest, which also will hold our shulker boxes as they go through the system. Then we can just come over here and place the shulker boxes on our shelving in the center. So I think it's all done. That's finished. So we do this, and technically we should see that fly up there, and within not too long a time, we'll see whether we beat it. We should see it pop down here in just a second. There it is. That was only a handful of seconds more than it took me to get over here, and then that goes on the pile as well. Ah, it's so good. This is probably one of my favorite things that I've built in the Isle of Ender so far. It's just something different to what I'm used to. It's a little out of the ordinary compared to the rest of the Isle, but at the same time, it's just so cool. So we'll grab this stone one as well, start the process of setting that up, and that'll start to sort through into our storage silos. Ah, feels good. I like it. I'm pretty happy with what we've managed to get done. Now, I know this was a longer episode again. I hope you guys enjoyed sticking along with me through all the processes of bits and pieces that I tried to get working. I would like to thank my Patreon supporters for always making these videos easier for me to produce and continuing to support me in my venture that is this channel. So thank you so much to those Patreons, especially Tom, my level 3 Patreon supporter. I appreciate it so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. All of you. I had a lot of fun, but I know that I did ramble a bit. So if it wasn't really your style, I'm sorry. It won't happen too often, but sometimes when I'm going through these little redstone things, I do have to feel it out as I go. Rather than just trying to work it out and show you the end result, I like to have you guys along for the ride. So with that being said, if you did enjoy this episode, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments, see what you think of this area and the system that we have set up. And with all that being said, I hope you take care of yourselves until the next episode, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys. Whoop!